All right. Good morning. I guess we'll start off with that. So I'm going to start off. We just received word about an earlier case. The coroner's report finally came in and ruled the death as a homicide. This would have been, or is our first one of the year technically. So this was an arson case from July 17th that was in an apartment building in the 200 block of North Grange Avenue. I guess I'll just kind of recap what we know at this point in time. So the fire began. Our suspect started a fire in the apartment, or I'm sorry, the suspect started the fire in the hallway outside an apartment in that building. The suspect then ran inside the apartment. There were several people that were inside the apartment at the time. Most of the people were able to get out. There was one, our victim, was left inside the apartment. The victim and suspect were both taken to hospitals up in the Minneapolis area because of injuries they received from this fire. The suspect is still in the hospital receiving medical treatment. The victim passed, I believe, the next day, so that would have been the 18th. And there was an autopsy that was done in Ramsey County, and so we are awaiting the final report, and the coroner ruled the death was homicide, I believe by smoke inhalation, but I don't have the details on that. So the victim last name is Admire, A-D-M-I-R-E. First is Charisse, C-H-A-R-I-C-E. Middle is Marie, M-A-R-I-E. She's 53. The suspect, I can tell you, is a 34-year-old woman. Because she's receiving the treatment, we don't have any arrests or any charges at this point in time, but obviously we know who she is. So if she's able to get out of the hospital at such time, then there likely would be charges at that point in time. But I guess that's kind of the summary of that. I don't know if you guys have any questions about that.
Are we able to get a name?
Of the suspect?
Yes.
No, we don't. The only names we give out are people that are arrested or charged.
Yes, why did the autopsy take so long?
I can't answer why the autopsy took so long. It's Ramsey County. I would imagine they're maybe a little bit busier than we are down here, but we knew that she had passed, and they did an autopsy up there, and we just had to wait for the results for the final report to be sent to us. And so we just received that. I just got word of it this morning.
Was there anyone else involved, or were there?
As far as, yeah, there was I think maybe around 4 other people inside the apartment, and so they all had, I think there were some different injuries, some minor injuries not related directly to the fire. It was more from them escaping the apartment, but talking to everybody, I mean, it was, the suspect had a disagreement, and that's why she started the fire, and it was people inside that apartment. That's really what led up to everything. We were able to talk to all the people that were, or almost all the people that were inside the apartment, and really piece everything together from there.
What about people in the other apartments? Were they displaced, or I don't know how bad the fire was, I forgot.
Yeah, I did too. I don't know if anybody else was displaced. I think the fire was in the hallway, so I don't know that if it necessarily traveled into any apartments. The smoke may have, but I don't know if other residents were displaced or not.
So were the people in that apartment, you said there were 400 individuals and victim, were they targeted specifically? Is that who the disagreement
That's where the
was?
disagreement was, right? And it was like 4 or 5 people total in the apartment. I don't know the exact number. The suspect had a disagreement with a person inside that apartment, and I believe the suspect may have been staying in that apartment as well. The fire was started outside in the hallway. There's kind of a little bit of a landing, and it was on that landing where the fire was started. So it wasn't directly out the door, but obviously the smoke and everything went into the apartment once the fire was started.
So this wasn't like a mental health incident or drugs or alcohol involved?
I guess I can't answer that if any of those were part of this or not, but everything seemed to be, at least from the interviews, talking to the people that were in the apartment, there had been this disagreement. So that was really the result. It was The suspect was upset, started this fire, and then things progressed from there.
Was there a reason the victim couldn't exit the apartment like others could? And was there a reason why the suspect also stayed in the apartment?
I don't know, yeah, I don't have answers why the victim wasn't able to get out, and I don't know why the suspect went back into the apartment.
Was the suspect is the 34-year-old woman from Sioux Falls as well?
Yes,
This is a 200 block of North Grange Avenue, correct?
yeah, 200 block of North Grange Avenue. And I know around that time we had a couple of different arsons. And I think they were both in the 200 block. One was north, one was south
Yeah.
Grange. But this is
Just
on
wanted to get that right.
July 17th. This was about 6:30 p.m. The 200 block of North Grange Avenue.
6:30 p.m. Okay.
And the suspect has burn injuries or smoke inhalation, or?
I don't know what the injuries that the suspect sustained. I mean, they're serious enough that she was flown to the burn unit in Minneapolis and is still receiving treatment. But other than that, I don't have the specifics on what the injuries are. Anything else on that? Okay. Not much on the log. The aggravated assaults, one of them is a domestic, somebody threatened with a knife. The other, I don't have reports yet. Assaults are reports. The burglary, we had a house, apartment, somebody broke the glass door to a business. Doesn't sound like they got in. Another storage unit was entered. The disorderlies, basically just reports, really nothing serious on those. The family offenses were more reports. Frauds, we had false impersonation and an ID theft. Larcenies, a little bit of everything. Nothing concentrated in one area, nothing real high dollar. The robbery, that was an ex-boyfriend, ended up pulling his ex-girlfriend from her car and then drove away with the car. No serious injuries from that. He has not been found yet. Sex offenses are all reports, nothing big from the simple assaults, who are almost all domestics. Vandalisms, a couple of them on Grange Avenue, I don't have reports yet. The others, we had a graffiti call and then a car that was damaged. That's all I have, unless you guys have anything else. Okay, thanks.